a year ago, there's no way I would have imagined that I would have lived almost 2 months in the Florida Keys. So there are good things that can come if you'll just learn from your struggles and keep pushing forward.
So how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Great. How is the travel full-time RV life?
Wonderful.
So tell me about your business while you're on the road. What have you been doing and painting and creating and stuff?
Not a ton, actually. It's been a lot of thinking and planning. I got a commission. I have a couple of commissions that I've been working on from last year, and then just got a poolside commission to do these people's dogs at one of our spots down in the Keys. Other than that, it's been just getting back into the mode of setting up all the marketing and all that. Did you see my face? I was like, marketing.
Yeah. You're like, this is not my favorite.
Not my favorite thing to do. But it has to be done. So just trying to figure all that out. And then I decided I was going to hire somebody. So I put a call out on Upwork and haven't really found anybody that's going to do. I get a lot of responses from coaches that are like, we could teach you how. And I'm like, no, I already know how. I need somebody to do it.
I don't want to do the things. I want someone to help me.
I need to stay in my area of expertise and paint and write and do that. The content creation, I need somebody else to go plug it in and do the work. So
that's so smart, though. There are so many people out there that just can't, like, they just feel like they have to do all the things, like it's up to them, rather than going, all right, this is not where I excel.
Yeah.
How can I find someone who can fit that spot so that I can do what I do best?
Exactly. Yeah, and I'm losing money because I can't do it all. So.
Right. Yeah. Well, and not enjoy the RV life.
Right. Yeah. So most of it has been just enjoying life and learning that I still have blocks and trying to clear everything out as they come up and just continuing to grow and expand myself and ready for the next chapter.
That's awesome. What's your inspiration been lately?
Oh, definitely the water at the Keys. That was gorgeous. As we were driving out yesterday, we both just kept looking at it going, oh, I'm going to miss this water. It's so beautiful and clear and turquoise, just gorgeous. So, yeah, that is going to be the biggest thing.
So I know that you haven't been doing a ton of work, but one of the things that's always been the most fascinating to me is your two-handed art. Have you had a chance to do any of that lately, either just for yourself or?
I've only done a couple since I left. Because I'm trying to record them when I do them, and so the whole setup in an RV is so much different than doing it, at a home where you can just have your setup done. I have to put everything away, and I did finally buy an actual tripod that I could put my phone on. So, well, it's not really a tripod, just something to hold my phone rather than before I had my DSLR tripod and I created a couple of different ways to film. So I had a duct tape thing that would let me shoot the way that we're shooting right now. and then I had the string one where it hung down and face down. It was pretty ghetto looking, but
hey, what happens in the background is definitely more chaos than what people see.
Right?
What you don't see right now is leaves something to be desired in the clean and tidy area.
Too funny.
Hey,
Too
I was going to
funny.
ask you, one of the things that I think is super, super important to me, and regardless of whether I'm traveling or whether I'm working or whatever, is my routines. I have both a morning and an evening routine, and so I'm always fascinated by other people to see what they put into place that works for them.
Well, that's the thing I've been trying to figure out this whole time is routine. Because before I left, well, before I started getting the house ready to sell, I had a very morning. I'd wake up, I'd go for a walk or a bike ride, and then I would do my meditation. I would read. I would do all this stuff first thing in the morning to get myself into the right mindset for the day. And then as soon as it was time to get the house ready, it was like wake up and paint the walls, and then moved into this. And sometimes it's wake up and disconnect from everything and move, so it's a completely different lifestyle, and that's something I've been working on trying to figure out. Plus we're in all these amazing places, and sometimes it's nice to just get up and go sit and watch the sunrise, or sleep in because you were up until 2 a.m. at Key West or whatever, So the routine has definitely left the building for a while. But that's something that my business coaches keep saying, you've got to get yourself in a routine. And I'm like, but I'm in all these beautiful places. How do I do that? So I'm still figuring that out.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely a journey, not a destination by any means. I mean, even when I'm in my normal routines, I think it changes a little bit from day to day, depending on, because every day there's not every day that I feel like meditating. Sometimes I'm just not up for it. It's not a thing. I'm not going there. I don't feel like I'm going to get anything out of it. And instead, we dance to really loud music because that's what I need that day. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But
it's still that self-care. So,
definitely.
Get up and usually fix breakfast and have a nice cup of coffee. Or he fixes breakfast for me. He's an amazing cook, so that's always helpful.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. Nice to have somebody feed me. I've packed on a few pounds.
That's okay. You are basically living in an opportunity to see things that most people will never take the chance to see. That most people, I mean, you are literally probably in a 1% minority of people who are even brave enough to take off in an RV and just go, I'm letting go of everything that others think is stability.
Mm-hmm.
Just find myself and figure out who I really am, because I feel like I've been lost my whole life.
Yeah, exactly. And that was really the pinnacle of my whole transformation, is just making that decision and then letting everything just kind of fall into place and guide me. This whole trip I haven't really planned out. We have our stops planned now just because it's winter and you have to schedule ahead, because if you don't, everywhere's booked. And so we started kind of picking our places. We will go back to Florida, but prior to winter, it was, I'd hear about this place called Asheville, North Carolina. It's supposed to be really cool, so I'm going to go there for a weekend. And it was a lot of just letting the universe guide me. And as I did that, it just opened me up to so much more that I probably would never have seen, because everybody has in their mind, this is the way it's got to be. I have to go here, 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 here. But there's so many other amazing things out there to see that might not be as well known or visible if you'll just open yourself up.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I just am so excited about watching your journey and everything that you've been going through, because I feel like you and I are kind of in the same place in life, going, okay, we've raised our kids. We have this passion, this thing, trying to figure out who exactly we are. And it's like watching you live the life that I am so excited to start.
Yeah, and doing the blog and kind of like as I started, there was something happening new every day. But now as I've gotten into just, I guess, the routine of living the RV life, there the blog isn't as consistent as it was at the beginning. I think I went every day there for a little while, and now it's like once every 10 days. I need to get more consistent, but there's that routine again where
Right.
I was in the Keys since early January, and all I wanted to do was just relax and enjoy the Keys.
Yeah, I don't blame you at all. So without routines and necessarily habits that you're working on for success, or you're kind of in a different phase of your journey here, what are some of the non-negotiable things that you are like, this is a must in my life no matter what?
Still finding the painting time. So finding those even if it's a few hours a week, I have to have that creativity to release and just let whatever out. Like I said, I have 2 commissions from last year that I'm still working on. And so, but sometimes it's different with art because sometimes you have this thing that you're supposed to create for someone, but your energy's not right for it. And so I don't want to put that energy into it. And so sometimes and that's why it's taken so long to complete them, is I have to do something else, spend some time on a different painting, or just like let things fly and then come back to those projects that are more specific in what's being created. So I have some new work that will be coming out, but also have those ocean scenes in my head after being down in the Keys. So I'll still have, some of the realistic art and the beautiful seascapes and things like that. But the new stuff is much more expressionistic. There's a lot more going on. Some Salvador Dali influence in them. So it'll be a little bit different than what people usually see from me. But that the two-handed stuff is what helps me open up to that and be more open to the images just basically flowing through me, rather than me thinking, oh, here's something I want to create, let's try to do it. I'm just letting things happen.
Yeah,
So
I love that.
yeah.
I love that.
But the big non-negotiables are just living, just enjoying life. I think that's my thing right now, because I've lived my whole life with non-negotiables. Like I had to do this and this and this and this and this, and I was miserable.
Yeah.
And so
non-negotiables, others said were your priority.
yeah, exactly. And so now I'm just seeing where the winds blow me, which drives my business coaches crazy. But right now I'm doing well enough that I can do that for a little while, So it works out. I mean, everything, I keep getting signs from the universe that I am exactly where I'm supposed to be in this moment. So I'm trusting in that, and trusting that when things come up and I really feel like, okay, now's the time to sit down and do this, that's when I sit down and do it, unless we're on a boat in Key West.
Are you painting other things other than your commissions, just to kind of get some of that stuff out of the way?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I have some that I actually started the backgrounds of them in 2018. They were going to be part of the automobile series that I did.
Yeah.
And so I have a bunch of backgrounds prepped that were prepped for that, but now they've morphed into something completely different. So
Right.
yeah.
Which is really the best part about your art, is you can make it in that moment exactly what it's supposed to be.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. I love that our friendship goes so far back into, like, you taught my kids, and like, we've kind of watched our children grow up together, and to kind of see the changes both in your life, in my life, and watching our children who are all just doing phenomenal things. I just am so it's such a joy to really look back at that whole journey and be able to connect back with someone who knows exactly what I'm talking about, and who's seen the same transformations that I have. Gone through some really crappy stuff,
Yes.
like I have. So we've seen some of the good stuff and the not so good stuff in each
Exactly.
other's lives. So it's super exciting. It's super exciting. So what are your, not that you're planning, but kind of what are your plans next? I know you said you were looking at down the road and where you're going to stay, because you have to plan some ahead.
And business-wise, I'm writing my book. Um, I see myself as a way shower for people to help them out of the darkness. And so I've had a lot of people who said that they want to provide copies of my book to their clients, therapists and life coaches and things want to help their clients with this book. So it's time to sit down and get it done. So I'm hoping to have that done by Natasha's Summit this fall. And then just continuing to paint and create some online courses. I mean, there's so much going on that it's hard to juggle all of it.
Yeah. So tell what's going on with your Words Matter exhibit.
It's still traveling with me. So I haven't done any shows anywhere, but I am connecting with families as I go through. So if I'm in a state where there's a family, I try to make it to them so I can deliver the portraits that have been paid for, all the donations came in. I still have quite a few that I did in the beginning that I did just to get the exhibit launched that haven't gotten donations for them. But most of them, I would say the majority of them are paid for at this point. All of those lost to suicide have been paid for. The ones, my warriors, were just drawn, like no donations really come in for those. So but I've been kind of waiting to fill out when it is that I'm supposed to start connecting with the different organizations across the country, and I'm still waiting. So, it's one of those things where I'm like, is this the time? Do I start reaching out? Do I start doing all that research and find all these people? So again, more time commitment taken away from painting.
Yeah.
So right now it's just traveling with me, and I'm meeting the families as I go. So
yeah, that's so exciting. I'm sure some of them are just like, I can't even imagine some of those meetings and those opportunities to see those families that you connect with, even if you've never met with them, connected with them on such a deeply personal level by sharing the image of their loved one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and they get to share the stories of their life and show me all their childhood pictures and everything. So it's fun to sit down and meet them.
Yeah, because you get to see a whole other side of that person that you have an intimate connection with that's different than anyone else's.
Yeah. Yep.
So fascinating.
Now you get to see my studio.
Yeah.
All right, get plugged in, and yay, there we go. Yeah, so behind me, you can see some of the work. It's a mess because we just landed, so everything's still strapped down and on the floor and scattered around so that we don't have crashes.
Right.
Too many pieces.
Right, but I think the best thing about that is it's possible. It's totally possible. Like, that's what's so great about what you're doing, is you're just showing so many people that none of this fits in a box. It's whatever you want to make it.
Yeah, you don't have to live in a house to make a living. You can go, you can travel, you can take your work with you. So
I love it. I love it.
Totally possible. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, where can people find you online so that my followers can come hunt you down?
All right. It's jessicatookey.com is my website. And then just search my name on any of the social media platforms. Just search Jessica Tookey, and you'll find me on Facebook, on Instagram. My YouTube channel with the two-handed drawings is out there. Let's see. I have a Twitter account and I post there occasionally, but not a tremendous amount. LinkedIn, I'm out there for all the LinkedIn crowd. So kind of all over the place. You can find me, Jessica Tookey.
That's awesome. Awesome. How do you give back?
Well, definitely my Words Matter exhibit, but also just through sharing how I overcame my own darkness. And that's what my Words Matter exhibit is sharing that and helping people to see that they're not alone in their struggles and that you can come out on the other side. I mean, a year ago, there's no way I would have imagined that I would have lived almost 2 months in the Florida Keys. So there are good things that can come if you'll just learn from your struggles and keep pushing forward.
I absolutely 100% agree. I really, really, really appreciate you taking time out of your relaxation travel day to chat with me for just a little while.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Love you, my friend.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in to the My WHIM Life show today. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a moment of the goodness.